Welcome to the BP Mindcast. I'm Jonathan Bartlett, your host. These podcasts cover a wide variety of topics from a conservative academic viewpoint. Some you'll find interesting, some you won't. Hopefully, I plan on keeping these short enough that you can easily enjoy what you like, and I won't keep you too long for those that you don't. Today, I want to talk about something a little interesting. It's about the incremental versus the long term, or you could also look at it as the material versus the immaterial, or the measurable versus the immeasurable. There's something that I've noticed a lot happening over the years with a variety of different avenues. Whether it's large companies, whether it's households, whether it's politics, and that is that people are able to oftentimes define what they can do to get short-term gains. But a lot of times what's less able to be defined is how that affects long-term behavior. And sometimes you'll be chasing after short-term gains so often that you'll not even be able to recognize the fact that your long-term potential is actually decreasing. And so just as a simple example, think about MTV. Okay, MTV started out as music television, and they were when they started, they were youth culture. They shaped and formed youth culture. And what happened is, I don't know for sure what happened, but I imagine they decided, okay, well, music videos are good, but let's try to increase engagement with a show, right? Because people are more likely, they might just have music on the background, but with a show, they'll actually be watching. Advertisers might pay more, and they start out doing a couple shows, and they worked well. But what happened, and those were probably good things at the beginning, but what happened after a while is that they started chasing these incremental gains, and they lost sight of who they were and what caused people to be interested in them in the first place. And so what happened is, they, instead of leading youth culture, they began just following it. They were no longer the place to go to find the new music, to see the new things. It was entirely focused on how do we keep people engaged to their TVs. And so each individual decision was probably incrementally good, but they piled on increasing decisions that left them more and more disconnected from the audience that they had grown. And so now MTV is practically irrelevant to youth culture. A lot of people don't even know who they are. And so you find that what they did is they in order to gain these incremental things, they sacrificed the long term. Something similar happened with coffee. What happened with before the rise of Starbucks, a lot of people didn't drink coffee anymore. And what happened is that the companies like Folgers and I forget who else is the old school coffee companies. They had they kind of made bean counting decisions that slowly and gradually decreased the taste of coffee. And so for a while, the only people left who were coffee drinkers were the people who just had a long-term addiction, and they'd been drinking coffee from their youth, and so these decisions individually probably made the company money, but in the long term, it reduced the coffee drinkers as a whole. So they might have been getting more bang for the buck. They might have been even top in the overall coffee category. But what they had done is they had undermined coffee as a category, and there's not even really a way to quantify that. And so they couldn't even see what was happening. And so the coffee drinkers started to fade away. And it wasn't until Starbucks basically came along and reinvented good coffee, and taught a new generation to love coffee. And so now we've got a lot of custom mixes, a lot of specialty mixes, and now coffee's making a huge comeback. But the old guard, Folgers, is actually increasing in their irrelevance. And so as you can see, what happens is that you can make a lot of decisions that sound good at the time and might actually be of incremental benefit. But just because something is incrementally beneficial does not mean that it's beneficial in the long term. And this is something that I think about a lot with regarding politics, because the I see this in the current Trumpism. I'm kind of ambivalent about Trump. He's done some good things. He's done some terrible things. Um, but my biggest concern is not like the people who are supporting Trump in a big way. Their concern is getting enough votes to win the next election, and I think that's the wrong way to look at politics altogether. Now, given my druthers between Trump and Biden, I certainly would prefer a Trump presidency to a Biden presidency, but we have to be very careful about the way that we go about it, because what we don't want to do is undermine the ability for conservative values to be in the election in the long term, and we can very easily accidentally undo our own relevance for the future. And I wish that more people would be thinking about the long term and thinking about what makes conservatism tick and what makes conservatism last for the long run, rather than just about what makes this next election. One thing that Andrew Klavan has often said is that instead of spending millions and billions of dollars for the next election, what we need to do is after the election, we need to spend that money on the culture. We need to spend that money building movie studios. We need to spend that money publishing books. We need to spend that money doing things that actually influence people to change their minds. So that way we don't even have to spend the money on the actual election, because we can change the conversation in such a way that people can understand more clearly what we're trying to do, where we're coming from, and how it works. So anyway, all that to say that the main point being that we can very easily get caught up in little quantitative questions about whether this is going to be beneficial or detrimental in the very, very short term. But if we don't think about how this impacts our long-term viability, then we can easily we can win the present and lose the future. I hope you've enjoyed your time on BP Mindcast. Until next time, keep thinking.